You're listening to the Sunday Aftermath on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Yes, the boys are in the studio about to join us for Racing Rewind. But first, we catch up with Darren McAullay. Very good morning, Cobb. How are you this morning?
Yeah, pretty good, all things considered, Marty. Thanks indeed, and a very, very heartfelt thanks to you personally for your support yesterday. You were the first into the broadcasting box, and that will always be remembered. And to everybody that's text or called overnight, I can't thank you enough, really. I mean, it was a mistake made. It was an embarrassing one for me personally, but it has been rectified. We've redone the final part for posterity for all those concerned, particularly the owners, the hyphenator, and the trainers as well. And, you know, it was with great regret it happened. How it happened, I couldn't give you even an answer, or try to, Marty, because it's just one of those things that's happened to other broadcasters ever since commentating started, particularly in our field, which is not an easy one, as I think most people would recognise, but it's something that you don't want to happen in a big Group 1 race like that. And, you know, you'll always have that sitting on your CV. But anyway, we move on very, very quickly and just say thank you to everybody that has been supportive. I suppose one thing, Marty, as you well are aware, I'm not on social media, and I believe that there's been an avalanche there, and the negativity is pretty strong amongst some, but I guess they're negative about everything, and they're, you know, critical of all things. So, but for those that really matter most, and they are largely from within the industry, it's been incredibly supportive, and I do thank everyone from the bottom of my heart.
Yep, that's good to hear, Mac, that you've taken it that way. It's the only way you could. You had to get yourself up to do that last race. It was all about compartmentalising from there, and as you said, the last thing you want to do in the world is make a mistake in any race, but not, and particularly that one. But once you've done it, it's out there. You've done it.
Exactly, but the thing is, you don't really understand that you're doing it until that moment.
Yeah.
At that moment, I mean, it's a weird thing, and until you've done it, or you're in that position, you can't really find an explanation for it, Marty. And I thought, you know, going to the line, I'm calling the race the two horses who clearly I'm not familiar with, Soft Nation and Port Lockroy, not that that's an excuse, and they're not even similar in colour. But for whatever reason, the names look similar to me on the form guide. I don't quite know why. And then I split them apart. Everything had been going beautifully until the 200-metre mark. Mm-hmm. And then I just split the two horses. Somehow in my mind, they flipped.
Yep.
And I called the race as I thought I was seeing it, with those horses identified. There's a moment, I think, pretty much just before the line that I realised something isn't quite right.
Exactly, yeah. We watched that together and listened to it, and, you could just pick it, couldn't you? You could pick it. But what you said... and
it's just a moment,
Yeah, and listeners who haven't broadcast live sport maybe don't get it, but... I can remember calling games of footy and just say, I've been calling Lochie, Taylor, Michael, Heaton, and you don't even know, and then all of a sudden, you know, Percy would say to you at three-quarter time, you know you called Lochie, Taylor, Michael, Heaton 3 times. And you said, no, I didn't. He said, well, go back and listen to the tape, mate. You did.
Yeah.
So you're doing it, but you don't even know you're doing it.
No, that's right. It's all in the subconscious.
Yep.
And it's only after the race. I mean, I did go in next door to the judges and spoke to Tommy Bell and Benny Williamson just to have a quick listen back to the tape to make sure. I thought, gee, I hope I haven't made 2 mistakes here. One, you know, if I hadn't have done it, and I said to the boys in the studio as well, have I made the mistake? And they said, well, I don't know. They couldn't remember. Anyway, look, all that aside, there's one thing that I have learned over a long, long time talking to my senior peers in this position, and that is when a mistake is made, and it has happened to every one of them, you know, in ordinary races or even some good races at one time or another, is that you do have to own that mistake. You apologise unreservedly for the mistake because there's nothing else that you can do. There's not a rock big enough to hide under those circumstances. You can lament about it for as long as you like, but it serves you no good, I found. And then you've just got to move on and to the people directly that have been affected, in this case the connections of Port Lockroy and Sox Nation, but they know where their horses ran anyway. You just offer them an apology, and to those that backed either horse. And I had dinner with friends from Melbourne last night who did back Sox Nation. So, as my dear friend Susie Mills said, it'll be now framed and put on a wall in the home when you're coming around for dinner next. So,
yeah, exactly.
So anyway, you've just got to move on, Marty, and look for everybody. And there has been a lot of texts overnight from industry participants, from senior management and beyond, that have called or text just to say, look, keep your chin up, mate. We're supporting you, and you really, it's overwhelming. But to be honest, everyone, I'm fine.
Okay.
I've moved on very, very quickly there. A lot of things, Marty, as you also know, over the last 7 years have tested my character at times.
Yes.
And people aren't aware of those sorts of things. And they're big-ticket issues that have happened. And I think what it does, it helps you put everything into perspective very quickly.
Well, Purple Dog
was made, but move on.
Purple Dog is coming with a beauty. At the end of the day, we wake up this morning and still have the best race caller in the nation. Purple Dogger. Well done, Mac. Are you off to Bunbury today?
Oh, no, I have a little day off. I've got a lot of friends over from Victoria for the weekend, so they'll come over there and take the P155 out of me all afternoon over a couple of nice Pinots, I'd say, Marty.
How good is that? All the best, Mac.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for your care too yesterday. I really do appreciate it.
No worries.
To everybody that sent me a message, love you all. Thanks indeed.
There he goes, Darren McAullay.
Arcadia Queenie had a peep over the right shoulder, and she's going to blow them away. Galaxy Star draws away from them. Pike Magician.
Welcome to Racing Rewind. Our panel will review the Prime Metropolitan meeting of the week. They will look for the horses to follow, those to forgive, and possibly those to forget. If you have an opinion, send a text to 0427 789 571. 0427 789 571.
Back. Here we go. We've got the A-team in, and they join us right now on this program.
A bit prickly as well.
Oh, he is. A few of the tipsters are a little prickly this morning. Loch, a very good morning. Hang on a second. Michael, very good morning.
Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Lochie. Great to be in. I was at Esperance yesterday, not at Ascot, but looked like a great day. It was a terrific day from the Bay of Isles, getting their season underway. But some big performances yesterday throughout the Ascot coverage.
Absolutely. Good morning to everyone tuning in to Racing Rewind this morning. Swan Draught Railway Stakes Day, White Claw WA Guineas Day. Just a super day of racing, as it always is.
What did you think out there far as the track playing? We've had a lot of people saying you had to be in the Travelator lanes 3 to 5. I'm not agreeing with that.
No, I don't agree with that. I thought the track played really well yesterday. I've been critical of the way the track's played the last 2 weeks, and I've thought you've certainly needed to be down the outside. But I thought we had winners and place getters all across the track there yesterday, so couldn't report anything in that sense. Last week we spoke about how slowly run some of the races were. The tempos out in front was shocking. Yesterday was outstanding. There were some really true run races, with the exception being the Railway Stakes. Nashuilla aboard Belclair really wanted to drop anchor. But apart from that, I thought the track played fair and the tempo of racing was much better than what we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, I thought the track played quite fair. You could make a lot of ground from back in the field, which was good to see. The 2-year-old race in particular was a rails in run affair. The leader won, the leader's back horse ran second, the 3 back the fence horse ran third. So I think that, and the fact that the last winner of the day sat outside leader, I think that showed that the track, you could be on speed or closer to the rail if you needed, but perhaps there was a slight advantage middle of the track, like what some people have texted in, but I still don't think it was too much of a deterrent to be closer.
Didn't worry Sentimental Hero. He seemed to be going along all right.
Yep, absolutely.
Along the fence, and also Comfort Me.
Exactly.
Yeah, big run, Comfort Me. A couple of placings in a railway now to his
3
CV.
Yeah. Well, what about the race itself? Very quickly, the Railway Stakes. We'll have Rob Archibald on very soon to talk about it. But it's an amazing race that can throw up a finish like this.
It can. 1st to 16th, 4.8 lengths. And I think that just tells the tale of how slow Belclair went out in front. There was a really congested, compacted field all throughout. Obviously, there was a 3-deep line, and horses like Comfort Me, I think, was a little unlucky not to finish closer to Port Lochroy in the end. And even other horses, the favourite in Light Infantryman, just never really got into clear galloping room when he needed to. And that's just a product of slowly run races, which we've been seeing in recent weeks, and that was on display again yesterday in the Railway.
Yeah, some luckless horses. As you mentioned, Comfort Me should have finished a little bit closer and finished off brilliantly to run second. Super Smink goes very close to winning with a barrier. Let's Gallivant was enormous from settling near last. And Mojo Rhythm, was good as well. So there was
wanted to run 2,400 yesterday.
Yeah, there were some unlucky horses there.
Did you not? You may not have picked that. Did you hear that Mojo got away?
I heard, that he in the pre-race coverage that he got loose, didn't he? And they had to recapture him. But it's not often they go around. So I'm sure there would have been some nervous moments for Connections and Mitch Payman, but it's glad he did, because he ended up running a nice 5th or 6th.
I have got one bugbear from yesterday. Is Mojo gets away. I'm trying to work out what horse it is. Can't see. So, a deduction, we'll have a look at the horses in the mounting yard. 5 of the horses had their saddle cloths over that you couldn't see the numbers. You know how they tip over, the saddle cloths?
Or the wind blows out, they fold over a little bit. Yes. Yep.
Just take that. What, you don't mind that, Lochie? That's okay.
Well, I'm not sure how we fix the wind, Marty. Are we going to employ someone at the gate of the mounting enclosure?
Just walk around and flick them back, mate.
Flick them back before they enter the mounting.
Have a saddle cloth back flicker.
We'll find someone to just...
Or should we train?
You'd be good at it, Loch.
Train the strappers, maybe.
You could do it.
Just on the way through. I can do that just for you, Marty.
Good.
If I kicked, it's a big combo case.
The WA Guineas as well, Storyville, what a performance that was. Champion fillies, Guineas, it's not easy to do that. That was how many is that now for Team Williams and Pike?
We'll have to look it up.
They've won plenty of them, and hopefully she can go to the Northerly Stakes in a couple of weeks, because she would add outstanding intrigue to that race, especially with the 50 kilos.
I don't even think it was that windy down there, and it's a sea breeze. The grandstand's blocking the wind.
There's a couple of a bit happening in the Stewards report.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I just want to go back to the WA Guineas, White Claw. Different sort of a race with Declan Bates and London's Image out in front.
And it was always going to be. Yeah. That's why I was so excited for this race. Declan Bates, London's Image.
Pride of Jenny.
Completely changed the complexion of the race to what we've been seeing in recent weeks with the champion fillies and the Faritha. Yeah. It was so good to see. And I actually think she ran out of her skin into 5th, but run of the race has to beat the Merriman. He is a serious horse.
I think it's the run of the meeting, considering the tempo that he faced. And even though he didn't win, it's probably the training performance in the meeting as well. I thought he was in all sorts after that last start in the Faritha? Yep. And a mid-preparation trial, 3-deep the trip, fast tempo, runs an unlucky second. Geez, I think Simon Miller should be very pleased with his effort, but luckless.
Stewards Room?
Stewards report, I've my laptop has just cast it in front of me. But Troy Turner, how interesting was this? First suspension since 2017 for Troy Turner.
That is a remarkable record. And Kira Yule, she also received a 19-day suspension. So 2 out of the meeting, but that was just a long Stewards report with plenty of reading to do.
Okay, we're going to fly through these early ones. Race number 1 was the West Speed Platinum Series Heat 3 over the 1,400 metres.
Belgiani, Mac Botor coming under pressure. Around the outside, Pike goes forward with Jenny. Dialing near the rails, swim through, pull the trigger, Rhythmic Belmay, Jamario, Ms. Vasar and Imperialise last of all. King Cartel led them at the 250 after balancing. Profit Pocket on the outside looms. Mia Gusto, Sun Bronze to there. And Jenny's winding right up now on the outside, coming at them all. Here's Jenny over the top for Pike, reaches the lead. And Jenny totally luckless last start, beat Profit Pocket, King Cartel. Kick back for
boy, didn't this get out to a nice price. Thank you very much. $6.50 in the end.
Luckless last start and was just courtesy of a beautiful 10 out of 10 ride from Willie Pike. Wide draw to overcome, 3 deep with cover. Bad luck wasn't beating her yesterday, just had a super flow into the race, and from there she found the line really well. And it's been a remarkable turnaround for this mare because she looked like an out-and-out 1,000, 1,100 metre horse 6 to 12 months ago, but they've had to reprogram her, and now she looks to be a really nice horse heading towards the West Speed Platinum final in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, it's a nice performance there. Yeah, that's a $100,000 final. That this is obviously a Heat 4. I thought there were a couple of unlucky horses in behind her yesterday. Mia Gusto copped a couple of bumps on straightening and didn't really get clear at any stage. And Miss Vasari was a pleasing run. Didn't get out to the 200-metre mark, but actually ran the fastest closing sectionals of the entire race. 33.42. The winner ran home in 33.46 with an uninterrupted run. So I thought that was a nice return to form by Miss Vasari. Profit Pocket was given a lovely ride by Steve Parnham and ran a nice second. King Cartel, I think we were keen to follow him off his first up run. He didn't disappoint, ran a nice third, but outside of that, I think it was all honours to Janny. Had the right flow into the race, finished off nicely, but perhaps you can forgive the efforts of Mia Gusto and Miss Vasari, who didn't have the best of luck.
Exactly right. Final over 1,400 metres in a couple of weeks' time, as I said. So you want to be looking at those horses that are finding the line well in this third.
And Bell Journey, I forgot to mention as well, three wide, no cover the trip, ran fifth beaten 2.5 lengths. That was a really tough effort. The Stelmack Camps horses are going very well.
Yeah, flying. Yeah, Jerry's everywhere too. He's loving. He's back in front of the cameras. That jovial man, Jerry. Paul from Palmyra has sent a long one in regarding Denny Roberts. I'll just clear it up at the finish here. Denny somehow manages to maintain that ultra-competitive edge without going over the top. She's an absolute gem to the industry, sensational driver, talks well, presents well. Harness game is so lucky to have her. Paul from Palmyra. That is a lovely text in from you, Paul. And you are going to be one of the men going to the cricket. You're one of the winners, so hopefully you can make it. We'll send you out an email, and that's one of them down. We'll get another one before 9 o'clock. Race number 2 was the TABtouch. Have you got the touch handicap? What a finish this was.
Back behind them, Affluential Arcadia Knight. Royal Toronado would need to be fired out of a cannon to win from there at the top of the home straight. The leaders coming back to them. Straightens up in front, Kerman Rock, but only 2. Henchard, Decoration. A further 3 behind them, Alaskan. Down the outside, Arcadia Knight. Henchard at the 200 comes out after the leader. Over on the inside, Kerman Rock. Henchard down the outside, Arcadia Knight. Candlelight Supper coming with a run. Royal Toronado flying through on the inside. Might get up yet. It's flying. They hit it. Oh, it's close. Candlelight Supper, Royal Toronado. Absolutely charging through on the inside has made it awfully close with Arcadia Knight. What a finish.
It was a finish, wasn't it? An Arcadia Knight just in third. Henchard fourth. Beats a War back behind him in fifth. But it was Candlelight Supper for Alan Matthews and Troy Turner.
Very well deserved. This mare has been so consistent over the last 12 to 15 months. She rarely runs a bad race. She did go off the boil for a short period of time, but all throughout this preparation, she's been consistent without winning. And yesterday's performance on review, it was enormous. She was just about towing up the peloton, I'll call it, in a field that was strung out over 30 to 40 lengths. And the way that she found the line well, that was a seriously tough effort. But obviously the big talking point is the second horse. What a run that was.
Yeah.
The peloton.
Yeah, there's a bit of Steel Bishop coming out this morning.
Wow.
Yellow jersey. Pizza War.
There was a funny run race, wasn't it? Kerman Rock obviously went very, very hard in front. The race was run in about 3 different sections. Decoration was chasing, ended up dropping out to finish near last. So I loved the effort of Henchard. I thought he was the run of the race. He was really all over that brutal tempo, and he was beaten less than half a length. Corin Maynard has this horse absolutely humming at the moment. I thought he was tough as nails. Candlelight Super, you've touched on. Royal Toronado, big run himself, was an emergency for the Railway Stakes. Got back to near last from barrier 12 and just hit the line brilliantly. I think he is on track for potentially a Perth Cup tilt. Obviously the ratings are against him, but I think he's got that sort of scope to be able to stretch out that way. Arcadia Knight was only beaten narrowly, and Dash of Brandy, I thought I saw something late zipping through the field. I thought that was a really nice effort. Disappointments from the race. Hemlock Stone.
Very disappointing, just never got into the race.
Affluential as well was a $6 chance, ran last.
Yeah, both vetted fine post-race, so hopefully they can bounce back next up, because Hemlock Stone was another horse that was potentially one of those lower-rated horse that could sneak into a Perth Cup in 5 to 6 weeks' time.
Manavendra ran the second fastest last 600 of the race and ran 13th, beaten 5 lengths. Roch Legacy ran the third fastest, ran 10th, beaten 3.5 lengths. So I think the performance of Royal Toronado was exceptional. He was settling in a similar position to Manavendra and Roch Legacy, and Henchard, the run of the races.
Okay, you ask how many times the teams Williams have trained Guineas winners. Did you ask that? I've got it down at 4, and I've got Pike at 4, but I might be wrong. So let's move on to race number 3, and this was the Magic Millions Crystal Slipper Stakes over the 1100 metres.
Steadied up for Pike and leads the way, travels well into the turn and being tracked as they'd set sail by the favourite Torcanco. Yes Queen slips 2 clear, Torcanco in pursuit. Over on the outside they're running third, Exceed the Boom. Yes Queen led them at the 150 as Pike goes to work. Torcanco can't get near Yes Queen at the moment. Yes Queen's got the favourite done to a dinner. Yes Queen much too good and a brilliant win to take out the Crystal Slipper on debut. Yes Queen beat Torcanco 5 lengths away back.
Well, there it is, the Crystal Slipper. It was down as a racing 2 lock, but most thought that Torcanco would win it. Went the other way.
Yes, I was one of those people. I'm a huge fan of Torcanco, but I think that just speaks volumes of how good this filly is out of Dion Luciani's yard. Yes Queen was just the ultimate professional. Dion post-race suggested that he wasn't sure how professional this filly was, but she proved him wrong because she just did nothing wrong. Bounced to the front. Willie Pike controlled the tempo of this race, and I just loved the way she lengthened stride at around the 300-metre mark. You could really see her click into gear, and then even through the line, she was really strong up the hill. She goes out for a break now. She's not Magic Millions eligible, so she's allowed to have a big break in a similar sense to the second horse in Torcanco, and we'll be seeing them in the likes of a Supremacy, a Jim Crack and a Caracatta throughout the autumn, which I can't wait for.
Yeah, 100%. They look the 2 clubhouse leaders so far at this stage, I would say, in terms of the 2-year-olds. Yes Queen actually ran the fastest last 600 of the race, leading, and it didn't look like she was going slow. 34.31. Torcanco, who had the sit on her throughout running, ran 34.32. So brilliant performance by Yes Queen to do that. Don't think we'll be getting 40-1 about back chatting again. Ran a terrific race at 200-1 on debut when placing, and then 40-1 again yesterday. Hit the line as well as anything to run third. So clearly underrated, going very, very well. Exceed the Boom stuck on nicely after being 3 deep the trip, but from there they were all beaten about 8 lengths plus. So it's hard to make too much of a case, and I think the fact that they gapped the rest of the field by so much suggests that Yes Queen and Torcanco are very, very smart fillies, and cannot wait to see them in the autumn.
Exactly right. So they're both off to the paddock now for well-deserved breaks. So I think if you see other horses out of this race head to the next 2-year-old race in a couple of weeks' time, perhaps look for that new brigade that are out of the trials. That might be the form reference for the next 2-year-old race in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, now there's been a lot more love for Mac on the text line. I won't go through all of them. One here from Greg L. I got stung by an ordinary run from Affluential yesterday. First for a while, so will forgive. Not jumping off yet. Still reckon there's a knockout chance for the Perth Cup. There's only one Cobb, a genuine superstar of our racing industry. It's yesterday's news already. Move on.
You are listening to Racing Rewind on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
More magic and back towards the tail home. The Queen XL Train, 400 to go, is being whistled up coming into the home turn. XL Train 3/4 of a length on Fast Flicker, the first to come in at 2 lengths away. Then Bruce Almighty, Ginger Green behind them, back behind them, rush into the bar. Keshi Boom coming around heel, starts a run. Fast Flicker though reaches the lead. It's Fast Flicker with 100 left to go. Rush into the bar. Keshi Boom are flying with Own the Queen as well. Fast Flicker's in front. Own the Queen's going to dive. Don't know. Got a big dive in late. Right at Fast Flicker did Own the Queen. It's a photo.
Yeah, but it was Fast Flicker, and Stevie Parnham holds off Own the Queen. A great return. Rushing to the bars. Dying to win a race, and Keshi Boom I thought was just a little disappointing.
I agree. We'll touch upon that first things first. Yeah, she just didn't find the line as well as I thought she would the final 200. She was a long way off them.
Look, you had to do a bit.
But yeah, her final 200 was only fair for mine, but I think the the big talking point, one, Own the Queen, but first things first, Fast Flicker, really tough mare. Tony Triscari has done a wonderful job with her. She was in a little bit of strife at the 500 metre mark. Stevie Parnham is like the perfect jockey for her because he just doesn't give up on these horses. He just keeps working on them, and she continued to find. Really tough mare. Great winning record. She knows where the finish line is, and another great result for Tony Triscari and his owners.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the run of the second horse, Own the Queen. Geez, one of the runs of the day. This is the horse that Troy Turner got suspended on for the first time in over 7 years, but first up off a lengthy break. I know stayers can pull out a cheeky run fresh, but I think she's pretty smart, this now mare, and happy to be following her wherever she goes. She was climbing all over them. She was unlucky not to win. The horse that she caused a bit of interference to, Blue Lagoon, I also feel has been luckless this preparation and eligible for easier races as well. I'm going to be following Blue Lagoon out of this race. I'm going to be following Own the Queen out of this race. And as Marty touched on, Rush Into the Bar's going particularly well as well and knocking on the door for a win. And I agree, RE, Keshi Boom, not saying that she hasn't come back, but she's probably only just going at the moment, Keshi Boom.
By her lofty standards.
Yeah, I was just rapt to see Own the Queen return as well as she did. That 3-year-old Oaks form I'm always iffy on.
Worried about. Yep.
I think it's a trademark of the stallion and the way he stamps his horses in Awesome Rock. They just continue to come back bigger and stronger, and she certainly seems in that mould. Justine Erklands was on the Sports Daily earlier this week and suggested that she'll go to the Starstruck next. That's 3 weeks between runs, so hopefully any of that freshness that may have been in her legs first up can remain in her legs second up, because she looks awfully hard to beat up to the mile next start.
Yeah, I like that. I like the 3 weeks between runs too, because often you can get a bit of a dodgy run from a stayer second up after such a flashing run first up, but keen to be with her.
Morning, lads. Was on course yesterday at Ascot, lined up with Chad Warner. What a nice man he is. Chad had a share in Miss Vasari and it ran a cheeky race. Also visited the TABtouch Igloo and was a fingernail away from getting the putt in for the $250 TABtouch and Drummond Golf voucher. So well done. Sounded like you had plenty of fun out there yesterday.
He'll be able to attend the Ascot a bit more when he's playing for the Eagles in a couple of years. Chad.
Let's go to the AJ Scale Cup, sponsored by Glenroy Chaff.
Fury hasn't moved on. Sentimental Hero kicked 2 clear from Holy Enchantment. Red Sun Sensation demolished the rail in good order down the outside, but Sentimental Hero broke nicely clear. 150 left to go. It's Sentimental Hero in no danger, in good order, running on strongly late, but it's all Sentimental Hero from...
Oh, the 18 from Kalgoorlie, and they get the money here. Peter Fernie, Lucy Fiore, what a season they had on the goldfields, and Andrew Inglis. How was his rating? I see him in the trophy presentation. I thought he was a bit down.
Oh, he wasn't down.
No, I mean the fashionista.
Yeah,
in
he
him.
could have done with the jacket, I thought. But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
We'll forward on the criticism to him, but he was in some great form in the trophy presentation. We'll discuss that when we get a bit more time. Maybe you can discuss it on Drive tomorrow, Marty. But this horse, well-deserved result. He deserved a big race, and that's what yesterday was, Sentimental Hero.
Correct.
He's just been flying since joining the care of Peter Fernie, and I love the ride from Lucy Fiore yesterday. There was plenty of chatter as to who might lead this race, but Lucy just rode this horse like the best horse in the race, went straight to the front, didn't walk them, just nice, gentle tempo throughout, and at the top of the straight, you only wanted to be on one horse, and that was him. Moving towards a Perth Cup, I liked how strong he was through the line as well. I think he's right on track towards a Perth Cup, and I think the Towton or the ATA might be the next race on that path towards the feature on the 1st of January. But yeah, excited to follow his progress as he continues to step out in trip that little bit further.
He ran second in a Hannon's over 1400 6 weeks ago, or 6-7 weeks ago. And
incredible.
Interestingly, looking at his history as well, but obviously an ex-Peters Investments runner, the previous start on Lucky Grey over 1800 was the first time he'd been past 1600. So yesterday was certainly the first time he's been over 2100. So it's interesting for an ex-Peters horse to have not been, I guess, attempted over the staying journeys, but clearly perhaps he's matured and strengthened up and he can get the trip now. But geez, he's going well, and the Fernie camp have a really good record with ex-Cerise and White horses as well. They've had a bit of fun there. So well done to them. I still think In Good Order's tracking nicely towards the Perth Cup. I liked his run outside of that Red Sun Sensation. Was had every chance, I thought. Ran third, beaten nearly 4 lengths. I think it's the third time Sentimental Heroes had the measure of Red Sun Sensation. The Northern Cup Red Sun Sensation was 3 late the trip, but I think at this stage it's fair to say Sentimental Hero has the wood on him.
I agree. Back in the field, Demolish was stepping up sharply in trip. I could be forgiving of that effort. And Starry Heights, he's just building towards a Perth Cup. Just keep an eye on his next couple runs. I'm hoping he can improve sharply en route to a Perth Cup.
Morning, boys. Listening from Barley. Big crowd at Y-Bar watching all day. Great ride on Fast Flicker. Second up, got the chocolates, Craig of Vass. Thanks for that. And one here from Tom. He said, why don't you get Andrew Inglis on drive, Marty? Well, let's do it. We'll get the great man on Wednesday and have a chat. Race number 6, the Carbine Club of WA Stakes over the 1400.
From Valor Road, no run, all the King's men over the back of them and absolutely desperate to get clear. Yongala sneaks up now to 4th from Mood Swings. Aztec Ruler heads the others. Valor Road takes Maricino, all the King's men. Yongalas tested, but Valor Road to the roar of the crowd at the 150. The old boy clear from Aztec Ruler. Valor Road, here's Aztec Ruler. Aztec Ruler over the top, squares up, grabbed the lead, got there Aztec Ruler. Aztec Ruler beat the old boy Valor Road. Devoted flooding through along the inside.
Tell you what, it was a dogged finish, wasn't it, by Aztec Ruler to wear down Valor Road in that finish for the Carbine Club of WA Stakes.
Big win, great ride from Chris Parnham as well, reuniting with this horse for the first time in quite some time. And I loved just the final 100 metres. He really pinned the ears back and wanted to get Valor Road, who I thought was gallant in defeat. He looked like the winner, 200 out from home, but Aztec Ruler, he's always had a big race in him. That was his second big race win after the Bunbury Stakes earlier this year. This is his type of grade. Provided he gets a start in the Gold Rush, I don't think he's without a chance of running into the first 5 or 6 because he's such an honest horse. Steph Fahala's had some little lingering hoof issues with him, but he's clearly got him absolutely flying at the moment, and he deserved that win yesterday.
Always like to see an emergency for the Railway win this race as a bit of a nice tonic, and that was the case yesterday. Valor Road was a game run. He's been tracking nicely. The old boy, he looked the winner, but to Aztec Ruler's credit, was just stronger over that last 100 metres. Devoted, really good run. First up off a little bit of a freshen anyhow. All the King's Men was okay. He was held up at a crucial stage. Probably needs momentum, I'd say, that type of a horse, turning for home to be able to build. So I thought his run was solid enough. But Yongalas, a bit disappointing. I've said it on this show a couple of times. I'm convinced she's a bit of a one-trick pony, that she needs to be ridden dead cold. And when she draws well, like she did yesterday, she's almost dictated to where she has to settle, and she just never seems to be as effective. I'd much rather see her draw 12 than 3 any day of the week.
Spot on.
We've got to get moving. Time for a break.
Strung up on the inside of Search and Rock's Tricks of the Trade, and zip away back behind those, followed by Light Infantryman into the home straight. Belclair joined by Sox Nation. Port Lockroy makes a line of 3. Johnston Porter goes for the Persuader. Port Lockroy hits the front now with 200 to go. Super Smink getting home brilliantly back on the inside with Comfort Me in the middle, but Port Lockroy kicks away, and it's Port Lockroy in the railway. Port Lockroy won from Comfort Me, and
well, there it is. Good one. Glory had Ascot yesterday to Port Lockroy, Annabelle Neesham and Rob Archibald. And finally, Rob, it's your turn to collect the big Group 1. A very good morning and welcome to Racing Rewind.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Good morning, Rob. Congratulations again on yesterday's Group 1 success. Port Lockroy, we understand you're at the beach as we speak. How has the horse come through the run?
Yeah, look, he's come through it in great order. He's bouncing this morning, which is good. So, yeah, we're just down at the beach giving him a recovery morning, which we do normally with all our sort of older horses. I'm sorry it's a bit windy, but look, he's great. Yeah, massive run yesterday, wasn't it? And he's been promising to sort of put a run like that together for a while now, and I'm just so pleased to see him do it on a big day like that. So, yeah, real thrill. He's a really good horse on the up, and excited for everyone involved yesterday.
Morning, Rob. Congratulations. How were the celebrations last night?
Oh, they were a little bit tame, to be honest. We might have a bit of a celebration today at lunch, but with the time difference, and we actually had a golf day on Friday over in Sydney, so it was a bit of a late night, so I was a bit weary yesterday. But, yeah, we'll have a nice celebration today.
Port Lochroy doesn't hold a nomination for the Northerly Stakes, but he does in the Gold Rush. Is that still the plan at this stage?
Yeah, look, we're just going to give it a bit of thought over the next 24 hours. He's obviously bounced through this run really well, handled that way of going, no problem. So a few things to think about. There is also a race called the Ingham back in Sydney. So we've got a bit to weigh up. I think, if anything, we'll probably go the Northerly, like we pay up and go that way rather than come back to the 1400. But, yeah, a few things to decide over the next little while.
The horse itself and his racing pattern, Rob, was it pleasing to see him able to put himself into a spot in a big field and just have luck on his side for once?
Yeah, I thought that was the key to him winning yesterday, was just the ride. I thought he summed it up beautifully. He got to the front relatively easily. He did have to sort of make a little move after sort of 300 metres to assert that position. And then he travelled beautifully. So, yeah, I thought it was really down to CJ. You know, with the horse has been going well, but he's a horse that gets back and runs home. And just being a little bit closer in the run just afforded him, not to have to do too much. And he just lengthened beautifully, the last 200. I thought it was by far his best effort. And, just showing what he's capable of when he gets the right run.
Yeah, because in the Golden Eagle, he almost got that position early, did he? And then just got squeezed out. He had to sort of come back one to where you would have wanted to be, and he held that position yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And I thought, look, it unfolded perfectly, didn't it? And it's, we just said to CJ, look, be positive. He's a casual customer, and if you let him relax, he will, and you'll find yourself a lot further back than you need to be. So, yeah, full credit to CJ. Like, he made it happen and, executed it perfectly.
How's Lady Laguna settled into WA?
Yeah, she's good. She's had a nice couple of bits of work. She's going to have another gallop on Tuesday. She's down at the beach this morning as well. Can't fault her. So hopefully she can bounce back. She was obviously disappointing down the straight there at Melbourne. She's going to have to be at her very best. We've also got Overpass down here that I can see from here. So, he's in great order too. So she'll have to be right at the top. But I think she's going well and should run a big race.
Hey, Rob, well done. Thanks for coming across to WA. Group 1 glory there with Port Lochroy yesterday, and continued success for the rest of the Pinnacles.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Great to hear them pushing up too for the ride of CJ. It was a ripping ride. I'm so rapt that they went for him. We spoke to Annabelle on Thursday on Straight Up, and at that point, Port Lochroy was $18, mate. 18.
He just continues to get backed and back Friday and Saturday morning. Friday,
we did racing on the road. I come back and doing the drive. 3 o'clock, I said, let's have a look at the railway market. $8. And what happened there?
And that made it the feel-good result, and we'll touch upon the railway stakes now, is that sometimes when an East Coaster wins, it's slightly flattening for the West Australian punting public because you think, okay, it goes back to them. But the fact that Clint Johnson Porter was able to win his first Group 1, it was just the perfect result all round, I felt.
So rapt for him. Yep. Really, really rapt for him. And because he'd won on, was it Numerian last year?
Exactly, and just opened the door perfectly.
And Annabelle said we had no hesitations on going for the CJ. We got full confidence in him, and he rode it tremendously.
Natural, lightweight rider, 53 kilos, didn't have to have a sweat, just a perfectly executed ride. Comfort me.
Wow.
What a horse. Unlucky to have not finished closer, in my opinion. Was just held up at a vital stage. He was really disadvantaged by the slow tempo set by Belclair. He was massive. Super Smink, huge. I think you can make an argument that with a gate, she just about wins that race. But at the other side of the coin, I think she goes better ridden that way. Yep. So she was enormous. She's right on track for a Northerly Stakes, and there were plenty of terrific runs and plenty of unlucky runs as well, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Magnificent Andy was really well ridden by Brad Parnham. I thought he actually had every chance when finishing 4th. The 5th horse, Let's Gallivant, was enormous. You can make a case for him that if he draws a gate, he goes close to winning. That was Sean McGrady's opinion in the beaten jockeys afterwards. I think the second fastest closing splits. I had a look. Wait for Age is much better for him, and that'll be in the Northerly Stakes next start. He's 50-1 in the Northerly, $13.50 a place. If he draws a gate, no reason why he can't finish in the money. Mojo Rhythm was very good. Searching Rocks, I thought, was good. Just felt the pinch the last 50 or 100 lock. Perhaps a mile's probably right at her limit in this company.
I'd say so, yeah. But she just lost that position early, and that may have cost her running fifth maybe, but she was still outstanding, we thought.
Absolutely. Beaten less than 2 lengths in a railway. Very good. Triple Missile I thought was really good. He actually got over the top of Zipaway over the late stages. Thought Zipaway was solid. I was clearly only beaten 2.3, but probably unders considering the horses that finished over the top of him.
Light Infantry Man was the beaten favourite, well backed late as well, $3.60 favourite. It just never got a great flow into the race, was back in a slowly run race. We've seen it happen at Ascot before, just never really got a great crack at them.
Sox Nation, no luck, trapped wide early. They went forward, tried to get that spot in behind him, couldn't, worked hard, then got into the breeze, but that's not its going. She's probably looking for further at the moment anyhow. Casino 7A, what'd you make of his run?
Not bad. Not bad poking up towards
Second
the inside.
Upstayer.
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
Not as electric as what we saw first up, but he's right on track. I think a race like the Van Himst will be right up his alley.
Bustler?
No luck.
Yeah, no luck. Got exposed when he ended up 3 deep the trip, and he was always going to feel the pinch from there.
Democracy Manifest, good late.
Good late. That was a nice northerly trial, and Chris Waller suggested that there's a race in 2 weeks' time. Let's go back, hit the line. I think he'll go around at a big price, and that was a very good run. And Tricks of the Trade, disappointing. Had the perfect run, I felt, but wasn't able to finish off.
Right, we take a step back and go to the WA Guineas.
By 6 at the top of the home straight. Further back, Storyville looking for a back to follow. Then Pondmaster, Patron Express, Ron's Final Flutter, and Flower of Gold. Can she keep it going? London's Image. She turns the corner. 6 clear down the outside. Exceed the Planet, September Born. They haven't got to London's Image though. It's all or nothing from here in the Guineas. She's getting very tired. She's still clear. Here's the charge down the outside. Starting to rattle home is the Merry Man and also Storyville. They'll go to it. Storyville, the outside, got up in the last stride from the Merry Man.
Well, what a win this was from Storyville. Tell us about it, Loch.
Big win, fantastic ride from Willie Pike, was in between runners, was able to get on the back of the Merryman at the right stage, which allowed Storyville to just have an uninterrupted run into the corner, and from there she was the strongest horse late. The run that the Merryman had just told in the final 50. Huge run, as Michael said, run of the race, maybe run of the meeting. He has to be a horse to follow. He's not paid up for in the Northerly Stakes, and I'm not sure what these 3-year-olds have to do to qualify to get into a race like the Northerly, but super run from the first 3 horses, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Storyville looks a very special filly. The Merryman run of the meeting, in my opinion, in Olympic Park, very good. Loved the effort of Flower of Gold, though. Geordie Turner said post-race has the Oaks written all over her. I agree with that. September Born, backed into $2.10 favouritism, all the rage, declared left, right and centre, but genuine vet excuses, pulled up lame immediately following the race. So if that happened straight after, dare say there was a significant issue there which would have stopped him. From what I was told after the race, he didn't actually make it back into the mounting yard, so he was just pulled up and went straight to that side gate. So hopefully all is well with September Born this morning. Okay, Pike to ride Storyville in the Northerly. 50 kilos. Oh, he's going to ride it. Yep. Okay, let's go to the last of the day. Held up in behind them for the moment, D'Amber, and then came Keep Attacking the middle, Comic Hero, to the outside, King of Key, Define Beautiful, cutting the corner, into the home straight at the 250, and Miss Flirtatious ranges up, draws about a neck in front now from Snow Prince behind them playing games. It's Miss Flirtatious in front, playing games, D'Amber coming through, Miss Flirtatious, and now Keep Attacking. Keep Attacking is finishing brilliantly. They'll split the line, a 3-way go. Keep Attacking, Miss Flirtatious and D'Amber. It dived through late, right on the inside of 3-way. Okay, tell us about the last here, Mickey. Last race here, well, on speed performance, Miss Flirtatious was a tough effort sitting in the breeze and just battling on well over D'Amber and Keep Attacking, who had the sit on her and were finishing off well late. Comic Hero zipped home. Woburn Gold, I thought, was a bit disappointing. Probably didn't get the huge amount of room in the straight, but overall wasn't the same horse as the previous run. I thought she was very unlucky. I don't think she ever got a chance to show what she showed the previous run. I think it was just one of those days for poor Troy Turner. Didn't have much go his way, but they'll bounce back next start. I wouldn't be dropping off Woburn Gold.
On Racing Rewind, it is time for the boys to look back and determine who are the black bookers, the ones to be on next start, the horses to follow.
For me, Own the Queen in the Starstruck, in good order. I think he's going really nicely en route to a Perth Cup. And Comic Hero, no luck in the last, 3 deep, no cover, but still found the line well.
I had Own the Queen and in good order as well, and Super Smink in the Northerly.
Paul of East Fremantle is the other two have won the double pass to go to the cricket this afternoon and morning. So Paul of East Fremantle, we've sent out an email to you as well. So enjoy yourself in that Bankwest Lounge at the cricket today, third day of this first test. Boys, what's on today? Quickly, got a winner at Bunbury, anyone or not?
No Bunbury for me today.
Bunbury for you? Nothing, Lochie?
Beach for me.
Perfect. Leah Ernest to take us through the morning into the afternoon. Thanks to Sophie Stone. She's been outstanding today.
See you at Swanbourne Lock.
To Brad Hardy. Enjoy the rest of your day.